Hey everyone, David Schley's back here again with Two Guys Build a Biz, and in this video, I'm giving you a list of 85 niches of local lead gen clients that you can use to get your agency launched and off the ground. Or if you're looking to change niches and you're a little bit more experienced in the SMMA space, this will give you a solid overview of the different options. I even went ahead and grouped them together by easy, intermediate, and hard groups based on what we've learned from interviewing over 300 agency owners at this point. If you're new to the channel, we're dropping value like this all the time, so make sure that you're subscribed and let us know where you're at with your agency. Just drop your answers in the comments down below. We love getting to know you guys a little bit better, and these topics and these videos come from the engagement that you guys have been dropping in the comments lately. So it's been tons of fun getting to know y'all a little bit better, and let us know what questions you have in the comments down below. So let's talk niches. Down below, you're gonna find a link to the document, and I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up on my screen. Alright guys, so if you go ahead and fill out that form, you're going to have it download and it's going to link you to this exact document that I have pulled up in front of me right here. So first of all, I want you to keep in mind that this is not an exhaustive list of every single niche possible in the entire world. This is just a super short, actionable list of niches that you can get rocking with right away. Why local service niches? The reason why we love local service niches is, first of all, they're for the most part easy for beginners, but most importantly, they're hyper scalable. So if you choose one of these niches, it's a great foundation for an agency that you can scale with a super simple, repeatable business model. We teach a model called the three-step funnel in the SMMA Blueprint program, and it's really been the secret to us being able to unlock months of doing over 100,000 US dollars for our own agency. And it really comes down to being able to run that simple three-step funnel for the niche that you're working in. So that's why we're advocates for these types of niches. If you're a total beginner, there's nothing wrong with working with bars, restaurants, local boutiques, that type of stuff. But if you're really trying to put the pedal down, I might recommend that you look at a local service niche. Not only that, they're easily scalable, and most importantly, their deliverable is leads. And leads are very easy to measure. They either fill out the form or they don't. The other nice thing about local service niches is that the workload over time tends to decrease. As you develop your systems and your process, you can duplicate that system and process from one business to the next. And you can even replicate it from one niche to another niche. Give you an example of that, you could run the same strategy that you run for an electrician locally that you do for a plumber. The buyer behavior is exactly the same. Somebody has a problem, they need an electrician or they need a plumber, they go to Google, they type in that they need help, something like electrician in my area, and then you serve an ad to them, they fill out the funnel, and they become a client for your client. Simple. So what you're seeing here is some buckets of different types of local service niches. So in the top left, we have our local services for the home, right? So these are your HVAC people. These are your carpet cleaners. These are your electricians, lawn care, landscaping. Super simple turnkey approach that you can run for these types of businesses. Additionally, they're often very kind people, but they're oftentimes making a lot of money. Even though it's not a sexy niche to work in and it's not going to look amazing on your Instagram, these are some of the most profitable niches that you can work with. And these clients oftentimes are looking for an agency that they can build a relationship with long term. So we love these types of niches. These are easy for beginners. Highly recommend. Another great place to start is health and beauty. So chiropractors, cosmetic surgeons, day spas, these types of niches. Every single person on this niche list under this category needs leads, and they need people to be visiting their place of business or to be growing their client base. So again, these can be an amazing niche for beginners. Now keep in mind, there's some of these that might fall under the intermediate bucket, like dermatologists or orthodontists might be a little bit more challenging for an agency owner that's just getting started. So use your best judgment based on your skill set and what you already know. Let's keep it moving. Some of the intermediate niches are going to be your automotive niches. Now, I might say that somebody like a window tinter could definitely be an easier niche to work with than somebody like a used car salesman. If you think of the type of clientele, used car salesman is usually a very aggressive sales type organization, and they usually have very tough metrics when it comes to their leads. So those types can be a little bit more difficult than maybe a window tint shop. So again, these are rough rules. Use your best judgment. But again, we can run a simple funnel for these types of businesses. Same goes for these miscellaneous local businesses, right? Accountants, bookkeeping, these are becoming a little bit more difficult than some of your other local service businesses, but they can still pay you a great retainer, and they're still easy enough to run some simple strategies for. All right, so let's talk about some of the more difficult local niches. Derek, my business partner and the other half of Two Guys Build a Biz, before starting our agency, actually worked for one of the largest marketing firms working with attorneys globally. And he would share the fact that they were very, very shrewd business people. They were tough to deal with. A lot of people think that just because somebody's making a lot of money, that means that it's going to be a profitable niche or it's going to be a great niche. It's not always the case in the legal space. If you don't have a background in legal, it can be a really tough niche to break into, even if they are making a lot of money. So proceed with some caution here, but know that if you can crack the nut, it is definitely a pot of gold with high net worth, high earning potential. So tread lightly here, but just know that this is definitely a niche that requires a little bit more knowledge in the space. And although they typically have a higher net worth and might be billing a lot for their business, it might be a little bit more difficult to work with than electricians as an example. Finally, that brings us to real estate. Real estate is definitely one of the most popular niches to work in for SMMA. And there's nothing wrong with that. The thing is, most people jump into real estate and they don't really know anything about real estate, which again means that it can be a bit of a challenge. There's a learning curve here. If you've never bought or sold a home or a piece of commercial property, it can be a difficult difficult niche to break in. Why is that? Well, most realtors tend to be salespeople themselves. They're hustlers. They're out there. They technically own their own business in a lot of ways. They're just roughly supported by a real estate team, but really it's up to them to make their number and make their income. So this means that they can oftentimes tell if you don't have a lot of experience. It can just be a tough industry to break in for your first couple clients in SMMA. So we gave them that difficult rating for these reasons. But again, if you have experience in real estate, it could be the best niche ever for you. So look at your experience and really what differentiates you is the best guide for which of these niches is going to be the best one for you. All right, so before we wrap this up, I want to leave you guys with a couple of important points when it comes to your niche. The most valuable client to your agency isn't the one that pays you the most every month. It's the one that pays you the most over time. Most agency owners get so hung up on the retainer that they're making every month that they completely overlook the fact that maybe you could take a little bit less retainer and keep that client for much longer and actually have a much higher hourly rate because they don't take up as much of your time. These are kind of advanced concepts that are difficult to think about when you're first getting started, but it's super important that you're setting up your agency with the right foundation. A year from now, when you're having success with your agency and you have a bunch of clients, what kind of clients do you want to be working with? Do you want to be working with businesses in a space that you're excited about, or do you want to be working with businesses in a niche that you have zero passion about? I know what I would choose, and the reality is that a lot of people end up building an agency or a business in general around something that they have no passion about. And at that point, in my opinion, you may as well just go get a 9-to-5 job. We start businesses, we start agencies to have fun, and I'd recommend that you choose a niche that aligns with your passions, your existing knowledge, and your competitive advantage. So that's our pro tips and the 85 niche list, and I really hope that's helpful for all of you that are getting started with your journey or maybe a little bit burnt out on the niche that you're currently working with and looking for something new. Let us know in the comments down below if you found that valuable, and I'm going to throw up a couple other videos on the screen here that I think that you guys will find valuable. We've been posting all kinds of free content, all kinds of value on this channel lately, so if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe and check out one of the videos that's flashing up on your screen right now to continue your learning journey. If you haven't already, let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like I said previously, a lot of these videos lately have come from your past questions, so we want to make sure that we're catering the community and answering the questions that you guys are encountering out there in the field running your agency every day. Let us know. Hope to connect with you all, and we'll see you in the next video.